We constantly evaluate ourselves without even realizing it. I did well. I'm not good enough. I have value. Or I'll never succeed. These internal evaluations affect not just our mood and behavior, but also our relationships, work performance, and even our physical health. The psychological foundation behind these evaluations is what we call self-esteem. Recent discussions about self-esteem have evolved far beyond simple slogans, like learn to love yourself or be confident. Today, we understand self-esteem through evidence-based approaches, grounded in neuroscience and clinical psychology. One particularly important concept gaining attention is self-compassion. Rather than forcibly rewriting self-criticism into positive thinking, self-compassion means accepting ourselves even when we fail or fall short. Treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, self-esteem is deeply connected to specific brain networks. Key brain regions involved include the prefrontal cortex, amygdala, hippocampus, medial, prefrontal cortex, and posterior cingulate cortex, collectively known as the default mode network. These areas handle high-level cognitive processes, like recalling self-related memories, self-evaluation, comparing ourselves to others, and simulating future scenarios. Interestingly, people with low self-esteem tend to show overactive responses in these networks. They easily fall into rumination, repeatedly dwelling on past failures and others' evaluations. In contrast, people high in self-compassion show suppressed amygdala responses and better emotional regulation by the prefrontal cortex, leading to faster emotional recovery. In modern society, comparison culture fueled by social media and achievement-oriented workplaces create what psychologists call contingent self-worth. This means basing your self-value excessively on being evaluated by others. In such environments, even if success temporarily boosts self-esteem, it plummets at the first sign of failure or criticism, triggering anxiety and depression. Building stable self-esteem requires an intrinsic, sustainable foundation, independent of external outcomes and others' evaluations. Self-compassion is the key. So what exactly is self-compassion? Psychologist Kristen Neff defined it as the ability to treat yourself with kindness and understanding. When facing difficulties or failures, it consists of three elements: self-kindness, treating yourself gently rather than critically when you fail common humanity, recognizing that failure is part of being human, not unique to you, and mindfulness, observing unpleasant emotions and thoughts without denial or over-identification. Research shows self-compassion is more stable than self-esteem and less influenced by external evaluations or achievements. Studies comparing the two found self-compassion more strongly correlated with happiness, emotional stability, and motivation in academics and work. Importantly, self-compassion doesn't show the negative side effects, sometimes seen with self-esteem, like narcissistic tendencies or excessive self-defensiveness. Meta-analyses demonstrate that people high in self-compassion experience less depression, anxiety, and stress, while showing greater happiness, resilience, and optimism. Neuroscientifically, those with high self-compassion show reduced amygdala responses and superior emotional regulation through the prefrontal cortex, particularly the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Self-compassion also affects physiological responses. Experiments show that during social evaluation, tasks like impromptu public speaking, participants given self-compassion instructions had significantly suppressed cortisol elevation. Autonomic nervous system measures showed increased heart rate variability after self-compassion induction, suggesting improved stress recovery capacity. This means self-compassion creates a physiological safety mode by moderating excessive responses in the stress system. Evidence-based methods for building self-esteem include cognitive behavioral therapy, which identifies and replaces maladaptive thought patterns with realistic, flexible cognition. For example, transforming "I fail at everything" into "sometimes things don't work out," but I've succeeded in the past too. Mindfulness meditation reduces ruminative thinking and strengthens prefrontal emotional regulation. Self-compassion training systematically cultivates self-acceptance through practices like compassionate phrases and self-soothing behaviors. Building these practices into daily habits is crucial. Neuroscience shows forming new behavioral patterns or thought habits requires at least 6 to 8 weeks of repetitive practice. This allows synaptic plasticity to strengthen neural connections, emotional memory to be relearned, and the reward system to recalibrate, so that positive behaviors and self-acceptance naturally feel good. A simple daily routine might include morning, spend 5 minutes, saying kind phrases to yourself in the mirror, and noting 3 things you're grateful for midday. Take a 3-minute mindfulness break focusing on your breath evening. Write a self-compassion journal, noting small successes and reframing setbacks as learning opportunities. The key to habit formation is starting small, setting triggers by linking new habits to existing behaviors, providing immediate rewards like praising yourself, and creating an environment with necessary tools readily available. Visualization through habit trackers and mood. Scoring helps maintain motivation by stimulating the brain's reward system. Remember, self-esteem isn't a destination but a foundation for living. It's built through the repeated practice of not abandoning yourself when you fail and supporting yourself through difficulties. Stable self-esteem isn't a temporary emotion, swayed by external circumstances or others' opinions. It's the accumulation of treating yourself with consistent compassion. Through these scientifically grounded approaches, you can build an inner pillar of stable self-esteem and navigate daily life and relationships with greater flexibility and resilience. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Thank you for watching.